We've all been there, excitedly planning our dream vacation, only to have it ruined by scammers who prey on our naivety. Travel scams can be devastating, not just because they can cost us financially, but also because they can leave us feeling vulnerable and anxious during what should be a relaxing and enjoyable experience. Travel scams can be a real vacation ruiner, and we aren't talking about the occasional wallet snatching or pickpocketing. These sophisticated schemes are designed to part you from your hard-earned cash and leave you feeling frustrated and helpless. From fake tour operators to rigged ATMs, these scams can cost you big time if you're not careful. One of the most common types of travel scams is the accommodation scam, where someone will pose as a renter or property owner and take your money for a place that doesn't even exist. Scammers will create fake listings on popular sites such as Airbnb, Booking.com, or VRBO to gain your trust. These listings for beautiful homes, apartments, villas, and hotels are completely fake listings, or possibly belong to someone other than the person creating the listing. Often, these listings will be full of fake reviews to help encourage your confidence in booking. Once enough people have booked the fake property, the listing will often disappear. There is often pressure to pay up front using services via a bank transfer, cryptocurrency, or PayPal's friends and family, which will make recouping any lost monies even more difficult. They may also offer you a discounted rate for immediate payment using one of these services. After the property is booked, the scammer will claim that your specific rental is unavailable and try to offer you a less adequate accommodation as replacement. Or they wait until the time of your arrival to cancel the booking, leaving you stranded. You can avoid this type of scam by booking through trusted, secure sites such as Hotels.com, Expedia, or directly through a hotel's site. Often, these sites offer buyer protection. When looking at reviews, make sure listings have multiple reviews from various travelers over a period of time. Avoid properties that have only new reviews. You can also use reverse image search to see if the photos used in a listing appear on other unrelated sites. Once a reservation is made, you may want to contact the property directly to ensure your booking. Red flags to look out for when booking include poor grammar or vague descriptions of the property. Also, look out for individuals pushing you to book through alternate forms of payment. Generally speaking, if a deal is too good to be true, it probably is. Another very common scam involves taxis, and it can come in many different forms. One way that taxis can scam tourists is by having a broken or rigged meter. The driver claims that the meter is broken or refuses to use it. Or, the meter is rigged to make the fare higher than it should be. If a driver refuses to use the meter, find another taxi. Always research standard fares and rates in the area that you are traveling to. Whenever possible, use rideshare apps such as Uber or Lyft, which will give you the fare prior to the ride. Another way that taxi drivers scam riders is by taking an unnecessarily long route. Doing so drives up the fare. Often it is assumed that the passenger, you, is unfamiliar with the area. This can easily be avoided by using an app like Google Maps to track the route and insist that the drive taken the fastest route. Make it seem as though you know the area. Often at airports, train stations, and tourist areas is the concept of a fixed-rate fare. This means that rather than using the meter, drivers will charge a set amount which is often more expensive than the metered fare. If fixed fares are common in areas that you are traveling to, make sure to research what the average rates are. Drivers can also sometimes claim that the passenger gave them a smaller bill than what they actually did. For example, if you give the driver a $50 bill, he gives you change back, acting as though you gave him a $20 bill instead. This can be handled in two ways. First, when handing the driver money, always say out loud the bill you are giving them. Here is a 50. Second, try to use small bills. If possible, use exact change so the driver does not need to hand you any money in return. Taxi drivers can also scam passengers by adding on luggage fees to fares. Again, you can avoid being ripped off by doing your research into what is common in the area you are traveling to. Some areas impose baggage fees, but most do not. Make sure to ask about all fees before accepting a ride. One of the best ways to avoid any of these taxi scams is to use a rideshare app like Uber or Lyft. These apps provide you with a fair amount prior to booking. Always do your research on the areas that you are traveling to ensure you are aware of standard rates and are more comfortable with your surroundings. In the end, if something feels off, trust your guy and find another ride. Another common scam involves fake Wi-Fi networks. Travelers, for a variety of reasons, want and need to have access to Wi-Fi networks. This scam is carried out by the scammer creating a fake public Wi-Fi network in public areas such as airports, cafes, or other public areas frequented by tourists. Often the name of the network will look real, such as airport Wi-Fi or hotel guest Wi-Fi. Once connected to these networks, your online activity is monitored and all your information is passed along to the scammer. All your login details for social media accounts, banking websites, your email and others is now available to those monitoring the network. There are a few simple ways that this scam can be avoided. You should always verify the name of the Wi-Fi network with your hotel, cafe, or other public locations. If possible, avoid using public Wi-Fi to access sites such as banking or doing any type of shopping where you would enter your credit card details. The most secure way to use public networks, if you need to do so, is to use a virtual private network or VPN to encrypt your connection. Take note that if a public Wi-Fi network does not require a password, it could very possibly be a scam. Popular in tourist-heavy areas is the scam that involves switching menus for unexpected restaurant guests. Oftentimes, restaurants in tourist areas have menus located at the front with prices listed on them. Once seated, the waiter, however, provides you with a menu that has much higher prices, claiming that the prices seen out front are outdated. The establishment may also add on extra service fees, such as charges for free items, such as bread and water, or even include an inflated tourist tax. When the final bill arrives, diners experience sticker shock, and staff may become aggressive when the bill is questioned or a guest refuses to pay. This scam can be avoided in a few ways. First, do your research. Pick out local restaurants you would like to try and read online reviews of locations. Also, before ordering anything, make sure to clarify if there are charges for things such as bread and water. Be sure to always ask for a menu that has prices before placing any orders. If a dispute over the bill does arise, stand your ground and ask to see the menu with prices to compare against the bill. A good tip is that if a restaurant is aggressively trying to get you into their establishment and there are no locals eating there, avoid it. Our final travel scam is rental agencies claiming there is damage to a rented item such as car, scooter, or jet ski. It simply comes down to your word against theirs. This one has a very simple solution. When renting anything while on vacation, be sure to take pictures of the items before using them. This way, if any dispute about the condition of the item occurs, you can prove that the damage was previously there. So, what can you do to protect yourself from these sneaky travel scams? First and foremost, it's all about being aware of your surroundings and trusting your instincts. If something feels off or too good to be true, it probably is. Do your research before handing over any cash and always keep a close eye on your belongings. Thanks for watching, and we hope you learned something new today. If you've got a travel scam story to share, be sure to leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more travel tips and stories.